What is happening, people? Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're keeping well. My head's on Mars after that game. A Barclays classic, a Premier League great, ended Tottenham 1, Liverpool 2. Crazy game. Tottenham ending the game with 9 players on the pitch. In my eyes, from a Spurs point of view, plenty of positives to take out of that. As you guys will know by now, I believe in the glass half full rather than half empty perspective, but I can consider all sides because there are negatives in the game and they're positives, like with every football match. But that one was crazy. A lot to discuss. Player ratings, red cards, so many moments, decisions, officials. We'll get all into it. And I'll be honest, say it how it is, but also we'll be balanced and bear in mind that other opinion and perspective doesn't always mean that I'm right. It's as simple as that. Nobody can be right all of the time. Everyone's opinion is valid. If you're new to the channel, though, please like, subscribe. If you're a Liverpool fan, Tottenham fan, or just a Premier League fan / neutral. Thanks for all the support in 2025. So crazy. I think for Tottenham overall, I think we could have got something from the game at the end, the way we played and kept fighting, and we ended the game with 9 men as well. And for me, what cost Tottenham so dear in this game is a discipline issue, which comes from a lack of leadership, but also individual errors. And we get onto it, but Romero, for example, did not cover himself in glory. I agree with both the red card decisions, which of course is not what Spurs fans will want to hear. And as a Spurs fan, this is me putting bias aside. When I say I'll be honest, this is me being honest. It's not, a case of it impacts the game, but it's not a case of we can't be lying in this situation. We've got to be honest. And that's Abby Simmons' first one is one of those that, when the modern games change, whether we like it or not. And it's a dangerous tackle. It's a potential leg breaker. I think Simmons' reaction on social media, the instant apology, I think that was quite telling. What was also telling is that not a single Spurs player after on-field VAR review, on-field decision review, not one Spurs player disputed it. Frank had his little whinge and Simmons has his whinge and the fans had their whinge. I get that. But no player went over because the ones who saw it know that that's a red card. You cannot be going in at that speed. You shouldn't be going for a tackle like that. Sometimes you've got to differentiate passion and stupidity, and that was stupidity from Simmons. And someone who had a really poor game, some of his 5-yard passing was basic stuff that 4-year-olds should be able to do, wasn't there. Without disrespecting Simmons too much, he's been poor since joining the club. He did have a couple of good games where I thought he turned a corner. I don't want to jump the gun. I still think he's a good player. We need to be patient with him, but also he can't sugarcoat it. He's not playing well. Simple as that. If you don't play well, you don't get in the team. But you also don't improve. You're not in the team. You've got to strike that balance. But anyway, he's out for the next 3 games. The point is, I think Tottenham could have got something at the end. We can sit here and blame officials all we like. And the reality is, for me, all the red card decisions were correct. I don't think there's anything stonewall. Of course, you're going to disagree with little things, and Liverpool did get the rub of the green with decisions in several ways. That's the way it goes sometimes. Again, I don't believe that referees bias or anything like that. I think we should be focusing on ourselves, how we can get something from the game, and individual errors again, but this time also discipline issues and a lack of leadership really did cost Tottenham. But let's get into those beautiful player ratings then. Vicario, I'll give a 4. Listen, I thought he was okay, but you can't give him any higher than that, really. That's probably being kind, because his second goal, you could argue position. When I say Vicario's done nothing wrong, I don't mean he's directly led to a goal. But the second goal, I think, his position is a tiny bit questionable. And the reality is you can see 2 goals and your position is questionable for one of the goals. You can't get a high rating. His distribution was a little bit better. Porro, I'll give a 3. I think his set-piece delivery, which is usually good, it was on point, was really poor. Throw-ins, corners, free kicks, not there at all for Porro. And he wasn't really tested defensively, but he didn't really test Liverpool offensively either. I think I've ever given a 0. Certainly not this season, but unfortunately Romero, who I love, I'm going to give a 0. Big fat 0 as well. That was not a captain's performance at all. Again, there's passion and there's fight, and Tottenham showed fight today, by the way. We showed attacking intent, and we were so much better going forward, in my view. But Romero, for me, you just got to strike that balance, and that where he gets sent off, and rightly so. You just listen. You don't kick out a player like kicked out Konaté. You don't do it anywhere, but especially you don't do it in front of the referee. It's a big no-no. So no, anyway, it's a double no-no. But that is an act of stupidity. He's lost his head. And as captain, that you just cannot do that. And the reality is the first goal, that's a really sloppy pass. It's unnecessary. A lot of options on at the time. I think it's a frustrated pass. It's really poor. And he tries to fly across, again, with passion, with aggression, which I do like the Argentinian part of him. But in the end, that sometimes means he doesn't always get it right. And he's gone in and, he's, for example, nowhere near getting back and making a block. But he just needs to slow himself down, think about it, because he could have got back and made a block if his head was kind of, on planet Earth and he was thinking straight, put it that way. But the point is, Romero was at fault. absolutely just him for that first goal. And the second goal as well, TK beating him in the air from that position. Considering he was limping, of course, I'm sure a bit of a game plan, a bit of tactics, but he was limping and he just come from nowhere. And Romero checked him twice and didn't manage to stay with him. I think that second goal, the credit has to lie with Etitike rather than Romero. Etitike as a player has got everything at the moment, banging form. If he's been Liverpool signing of the summer, in my view, I think he's been very good. And that Alexander Isak first goal, by the way, as well, it was such an Isak type goal, where he slides off a defender, a little running behind. That's what he used to, type of goal he used to score against Newcastle. And it wasn't a great tackle from Van der Ven trying to win the ball. So it probably would have been a penalty either way if you look it back, or a bit of a bad tackle that resulted in Isak getting injured. Of course, we wish him a speedy recovery, but Romero, for that reason, a 0. Van der Ven gave a 5, wasn't really, his pace wasn't really tested. Spencer gave a 6, trying to drive Tottenham forward. One of the more positive players, I'd actually say Tottenham's best player on the pitch. I liked going forward. He does limit us going forward in terms of when it gets to the crossing. When I say Spencer limits us to be on that left-hand side, what I mean is when we get into the opposition box, his crossing isn't there from that position, understandably. Gray, needs to build up his confidence after that mistake against Forest. Don't want it to knock his confidence too much in any way, if at all. So it was an okay performance, wasn't involved much, so I'll give him a 4. And also match that with Lucas Bergwijn and say give a 4. It just doesn't suit that 10 position for me. It isn't right. I think he got a lot right in this game, but I don't think starting Simmons on the left or Bergwijn on 10 was beneficial for the team at all. I get why you put them in there, but maybe not in that position. So quiet game for them both, young pair. I'll give a 4. Simmons, unfortunately, really poor again. And it was, like I said there, a moment of madness. Couldn't impact the game. I'll give him a 1. Warney, give a 5, hit the bar, you looked dangerous, played okay. I don't think he's the man really in terms of going forward, just in my view, because actually Charleston got off the bench and it looked good. I think Warney in moments could be okay. I just don't think he's the guy that we can rely on. I think it still is Solanke in my view when he comes back and gets match fit, which will probably be a few weeks, but he just suits Frank's system a lot more, balls in the box. Substitutes, Johnson, I give a 4, not really having the impact that he or Frank would have hoped. Odeberg, give a 6, come on, nice crosses into the box. He looked really good. Didn't actually realise he come on. We were so keen to make the substitutions, get back in the game. Paulinho, give a 5, comes on, does the kind of basics, but the good stuff, basic passing, and gets control of the game. Richarlison, I'll give an 8. I think comes on, gets the goal, his kind of yearly goal against Liverpool, and I just love that passion. How can you not love the guy? Trusting to win the ball back. He's hated by clubs like Liverpool for being a former Toffee, a former Evertonian. Those are my player ratings of the starters and substitutes. But just to summarise, better from Tottenham, more attacking intent. I know it took the latter stages, the second half, for example, and to be honest with you, we look better the more players who got sent off. It's hard to know too much what to take from that game. But what I took is that Liverpool are still, by the way, a top team. They were champions last year. It's not spoken about enough, by the way, because of the drop-off. They're the Premier League champions. Just experienced a little bit dip. They're back. They still have fragility defensively, and I understand that. But for Tottenham, for me, the leadership, that's not leadership for Romero. You don't lose your head in a game like that because that cost the team ultimately. And he killed you having any chance of getting back in the game. I know he showed fight, but it's so much harder. It's just any basic kind of industry. It's just, it's common sense. If you don't have the tools, you can't achieve anything. You can't get the job done. It's as simple as that. And in football, you've got 2 players light. It's incredibly difficult. And we showed real fight and real resilience. So, as a fan, I'll look at it and go, how can't you get behind that? It was a lot better going forward, a lot more positives to take out of it. But again, ultimately, it's a result that matters. It's another home defeat. It's another couple of goals conceded at home, only 17 points at home this year. And, there's not much hope for fans going into the stadium, and the league doesn't look good either. But the performance is encouraging, a lot to take away, but I hope that sums it up. My player ratings and match reaction, trying to be as balanced and fair as possible. Get involved in the comments below how you feel about the game. What did you make of it, and how you feeling right now as a top-notch Spurs supporter or a Liverpool supporter as well, if you are listening, but more than likely a Spurs supporter. Thank you so much. If you're new, please like and subscribe to the channel. But yeah, heads on Mars. I hope I've explained it as clear as I can. That was a great game, full of entertainment. Definitely value for money. There's some of those inside the stadium haven't been able to say recently. And playing the game properly, Tottenham, is, well, let's just be clear. When I say it was a great game, to start with, it was a bit slow. Both teams trying to suss each other out and kind of defensively secure. Both teams set up with kind of compact in midfield. It was flooded the midfield, and it was all that's what it was all about, wasn't it? Flooded the midfield, been safe, and Liverpool opened up more. As we got players sent off, such as Harry Simmons, and then we opened up more. We thought, let's go for it a little bit. We did, set up shop, but when we went. So it was a great game, and just so many things in it. But You can't grumble. I'm happy with that. We move on. Just a shame we couldn't get anything from the game, and Simmons has apologised. The right thing to do. I think we can be frustrated with Simmons and Romero, and what could have been is frustrating for Tottenham. A point would have been a good result, but full focus on Palace. Is a game we can win. They're starting to implode a little bit. But thanks for watching, and a massive come on, you Spurs.
You came along just like a song, and brighten my day. Who'd have believed that you were part of the dream? Now it all